Let me put it this way. It all started with product and product-driven organizations. Love the product. And then we moved to service. We realized that it's not enough to sell something. We have to back it up with good service. And a lot of new literature came out on services marketing. Not only services marketing for hard physical products, but also services marketing for intangible firms selling intangible services like the hotel and the airline and so on, which disappear after they're over.
That's Philip Kotler talking about the evolution of marketing, a subject that you should know a thing or two about. Kotler is called the father of marketing by many. He wrote the first book on the principles of marketing. He's also known for pushing universities to recognize marketing as the complex discipline it is today. And most important for us today, Kotler helped popularize a method called the 4 Ps. Some of you might have joined me on my previous course for Alpe, Mastering Marketing. In that course, I covered the foundations of marketing, including Kotler's 4 Ps. They are the 4 tools every marketer can use to customize their offering to customers. If you haven't yet taken Mastering Marketing, I recommend you start there. In this course, we'll dive deep into the first P, which is product. There are many layers to your product, all of which can greatly impact your success. In fact, the point Kotler just made about how a product includes the services that surround it is just the very tip of the iceberg. For example, if I asked you what product a petrol station is selling, what would you say? If you're like most people, or indeed Shell UK before I came along, you'd say, well, petrol, or gasoline for you Americans. But as you'll see in our first lesson, the product is much more than that. There are many creative angles from which to view your product. In the case of a petrol station, how about travel rather than petrol? Understanding all such angles will help you find new and interesting ways to tailor your product to your customers' needs, giving you an enormous edge in this competitive market. But first, a bit about myself, for you newcomers. I'm Dr. Marcel Cohen. I've been teaching marketing at Imperial College for many years. But before I joined the academic world, I spent a lot of time in the field. In the 80s, I spent a decade working with Shell UK. This was an era when a customer-oriented culture was virtually non-existent. I was put in a position where I was able to be a customer champion, demystifying customer wants and needs for my colleagues. This period gave me valuable insight into the corporate world. I was able to clearly see where many disconnects between business and customers arise. In 1990, I joined London's Imperial College as a lecturer, and have had the privilege of teaching over 3,000 business students the principles which will appear in this course. Even after I began my teaching career, I continued my work in the field, acting as a consultant for many interesting cases. You'll hear all about some of these cases throughout the course. So what will we be learning in this course? As I mentioned, we'll focus intently on the nature of a product. What is it, and how can I learn to alter it in a marketing context? You'll learn how each product actually has 2 layers, with each layer adding different value to your product. You'll then learn about the product lifecycle and how to approach your product at each stage. I'll then explain the different ways you can gain an edge on your competition, through quality, differential advantage, and product repositioning. After that, you'll learn how to create a product portfolio, and then finally, you'll gain an even deeper understanding about how the following factors affect the value of a product or service: variability, inseparability, perishability, promotion, place, people. You'll leave this course with a firm grounding in product marketing principles. In fact, by next lesson, you will already understand how to avoid that critical mistake that Shell UK was making before I came along. Ready to make the most of your product? Let's get started.